Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for choosing our show. Ladies and gentlemen, where are you supporting or rejecting the finance bill from? If you are in Kenya, which county? And if you are our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, which state exactly are you in? You know, when William Ruto came up with this proposed finance bill 2024, there were certain proposals in it that were very crazy. Taxing bread, imposing levies on motor vehicle, imposing levies on electronic money transfer, imposing levy on diapers. And when Kenyans went for public participation, they outrightly rejected those proposals. Unlike in the finance bill 2023, this time round there was a lot of pressure. People were running on the streets. MPs were marked as enemies, and so the government retreated to State House in their parliamentary group meeting. And when they came out, they told us that they had dropped those proposals. The proposal on diaper, they said they will only tax imported diapers. That is the eco levy. They said that they had dropped the motor vehicle tax. They would be looking at a road maintenance levy. They said they had dropped taxing bread, and they had also dropped imposing levy or increasing charges when you transfer money electronically. And when they said that, they thought Kenyans will be over the moon with joy. But contrary to what they thought, Kenyans read mischief in this proposal. Why the sudden change of mind? That all that Kenyans did not want have been dropped. And they're saying, until we see that bill, we cannot trust this government. Because there are two sides of the story. There is a school of thought that believes that William Ruto never wanted to tax bread and the diapers, that he was placing this so that when he comes back, there are hidden proposals inside there, that it was the reverse psychology. He will come back and tell us, I have removed levy on diaper, on bread, on electronic money transfer on vehicles, so that we become happy, and then he sneaks in that which we are unable to see. But there's another school of thought that believes William Ruto really intended to tax bread. It is only that there's a lot of pressure that has compelled him to abandon it. If you ask me, I don't know your thought about this. Was he serious about taxing bread, or was it a decoy? If you ask me, both of them, because William Ruto wanted to kill two birds with one stone. One, he was testing waters, and in his testing waters, had people just sat pretty, had people decided to keep quiet, I can assure you he would have gone ahead to tax bread and all these proposals that they are now dropping. But one person who is going to run at loggerheads once again with this government is Raila Odinga. Raila had given instructions that in his capacity as the opposition leader and in his capacity as Raila Odinga, he feels that the proposed Finance Bill 2024 must undergo radical surgery. And we underline the word radical. Today, what William Ruto came up with, the Molo MP Kimani Kuria, or Kuria Kimani, is a kind of minor surgery. It is not a radical surgery. And William Ruto and the entire government now wants us to start focusing on bread and diaper and ecosystem and M-Pesa and motor vehicle levy. That is what they want us to focus on. And they want us to start praising the government that everything is okay. But the opposition feels that there is more than meets the eye. There are several proposals in that bill that are as unpalatable, retrogressive, and very injurious to our pockets. And that is why today Raila Odinga instructed the Azimio fraternity to reject that bill in its entirety, to reject it Totally.
As a coalition, we take this opportunity to thank all members of the public and members of parliament who have expressed strong objection to the proposals that were as punitive as they were insensitive. We further applaud the emerging citizens' power that piled pressure on members of parliament and arrogant government officials, leading to the current climb down. We take particular note of the strong social media campaign that was initially dismissed by some bureaucrats as inconsequential, but which has now borne some fruits. We urge our citizens and our leaders not to relent but to continue pushing until the government does the right thing. The changes to the bill announced today at State House creates a feeling that the government is involved in mind games with the citizens. They create the feeling that some of the proposals now dropped were included in the initial bill just to create outrage and give the administration the opportunity to claim to be listening and caring. There was never any justification for proposing to increase tax on bread, for example. There was no good whatsoever in proposing to tax sugarcane being delivered to factories. Motor vehicle tax was silly and outrageous from the start. The evil mind that conceived it was simply testing the resolve and the emotions of Kenyans. It takes a bad government to govern through mind games, and Kenya Kwanza is one such government. Despite the changes announced today, we as a coalition are not convinced that they go deep enough to make the end product be a law that can promote investment and economic growth and contain corruption, especially the budgeted corruption and wasteful spending. We will therefore push for further changes to the bill and turn it into a document for growth and not stagnation. For instance, we demand that the export promotion levy of 10% on clinkers for manufacture of cement is a tool for stagnation. It is meant to stifle competition in a particular sector with a view to protecting a particular investor in a specific sector. As a country, we will be shooting ourselves in the foot if we were to make laws just to protect one business person. The export promotion levy must therefore be dropped. We also demand the outright dropping of the proposal by the Transport Cabinet Secretary to increase fuel levy by Kenya shillings 9 per litre. We are against this idea that transport, which includes the movement of goods and people, is some kind of luxury that this country can do without. Without movement of goods and people, we have no economy to talk about. Our position is that there shall be no more ad hoc raising of prices of fuel. As a coalition, we reject the entire bill.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes. And demand its total withdrawal.
Communist power.
So those are the instructions of Raila Amolo Odinga. You know, Raila Amolo Odinga is now seeking the AU Commission's seat, and he has decided that he restrains himself from engaging in active politics. He does not want to speak, but he's speaking through proxies. If anything, he released a statement. He even told the Kenya Kwanza regime that this was going to be unacceptable. And I remember this did not go down well with the members of the Kenya Kwanza, and the majority leader in the Senate, Aaron Cheruiyot, bashed Raila. He said that if you are behaving this way, then the government might decide to stop supporting, your bid to becoming the African Union Commission, because Raila was doing this only a day after he met Chief Minister Musalia Mudavadi, and they had a joint press statement. They told Kenyans the preparation they have. But Raila has refused to be intimidated. He believes that just the fact that he's going for the African Union Commission seat does not mean that he is gagged. You cannot muzzle him. Now, what does it mean moving ahead? Because the opposition is saying that this bill must be rejected totally. It means that as Kenyans, we are not going to sit down. It was because of our pressure that the government decided to, abandon some of the proposals. They were testing waters to understand whether Kenyans will be quiet. So Kenyans must continue pushing further. And this is the time we rally our support behind our members of parliament. And we need to tell the members of parliament that we cannot accept as they go there, because the debate will go for about 2 days. Let them pick areas that should be amended. Because when it is amended, and we mean radical surgery, because what the government wants us now to do is to focus on the few that they have removed. Yet there are even what I may call the elephant in the room. There are other proposals that will be more difficult even to implement. And if they are implemented, we will regret. The reason I'm saying this, you remember in the Finance Bill 2023, they passed it, and then the avocado farmers from Mount Kenya started crying. In today's briefing, they said that they will be exempted from paying through e-teams, but that does not reverse the decision to tax them. So they better discuss and amend it before it is passed. We still urge Kenyans to ensure that we look at our members of parliament and their voting pattern, not only the voting pattern, but we want to look at the members, how they debate. We want to hear what they are saying about these draconian proposals. That is how and when you know that you elected a zombie or a genius. You know whether your money, because the members of parliament are paid by your money. This is the time to know whether your money is used properly, because we are maintaining their vehicles, their secretariat, their offices, their travels, their allowances, their security is maintained by our money. And so this is the time that the members of parliament must go there. Their role is to legislate on our behalf, to make laws and to represent us. This is the time. And I'll be looking at my member of parliament. I'll be looking at Atandi. I want to see whether Atandi, Honorable Atandi, will be looking at those proposals one by one, those which will affect us directly or indirectly. And I will be watching very closely. Our neighbor there is, I think, Opio, and I, the minority leader. I want to see how he pokes holes and there is amendments.